Silence between trees. There is a place where the trees never rush. They stand in quiet fellowship, old and tall, their canopies gently touching like hands held in reverence. Each trunk is wrapped in layers of time, soft mosses, cracked bark, slow secrets. Their roots reach deep into the soil, tangled in a patient web, anchoring stories older than memory. This forest is not far from here, but to find it, you must first forget everything loud. No roads lead to it. No signs. Only a narrow footpath carved by soft steps long ago, winding through gentle undergrowth. The moss along the trail is thick and spongy, absorbing all sound until even your footsteps feel like whispers. Ferns lean in quietly as you pass. Tiny blooms open shyly in the filtered light. You walk slower without meaning to. The world invites you to slow down. Above, the branches cradle clouds. The sky peeks through only in slivers, delicate brushstrokes of pale blue and silver. Sometimes the light falls just right, and a beam of warmth slips through the leaves, touching your shoulder like a memory you didn't know you missed. The air is scented with damp pine, faded blossoms, and something older, perhaps the breath of the earth itself, exhaling beneath the stillness. Somewhere deeper in the trees, a stream hums faintly to itself. You can't see it yet, but its lullaby curls through the forest like smoke. The sound isn't hurried. It's like someone humming a lullaby with no words, only comfort. Birds sing slowly, not in song but in fragments. A single note here. A pause. Then another, somewhere far. The forest is never silent, but its silence is made of gentler things. And so you walk. Not to get anywhere. Not to arrive. But to drift deeper into this green hush, one slow breath at a time. Your shoulders soften. The rhythm of your breath matches the forest's pace. You don't notice when your thoughts begin to fade, one by one, like leaves falling from a breeze you never felt. Here, the ground was soft with moss and pine needles, a perfect place to pause and settle. You lowered yourself carefully to the earth, feeling the comforting embrace of the forest floor beneath you. The sky above was a deep indigo, scattered with countless stars that shimmered like diamonds in the velvet night. The moon hung low and full, casting a silver light that painted the trees and meadow in ethereal hues. The world was hushed, wrapped in a blanket of quiet that seemed to hold the very essence of peace. You lay back against the mossy ground, your body sinking into the soft earth as your breath slowed and deepened. The night air was cool but gentle, carrying the faint fragrance of pine and earth, a scent that spoke of ancient forests and timeless calm. The symphony of the night unfolded around you, the gentle chirp of crickets, the soft rustle of leaves, the distant call of an owl. Each sound was a thread in the fabric of this peaceful world, weaving a cocoon of quiet that wrapped you in safety and rest. Your eyelids grew heavy, fluttering like delicate petals folding closed in the dark. The last rays of moonlight danced softly across your skin, a tender farewell to the waking world. Your mind drifted freely, thoughts melting away like morning mist, leaving only the gentle pulse of your heart and the whisper of the trees. In this sacred moment, time lost its hold. Past and future faded into a timeless present where all that existed was the calm breath of the earth beneath you and the infinite sky above. You were part of this vast, gentle world, a single thread in the tapestry of life, held close and cherished. Sleep wrapped around you like a silken shroud, drawing you deeper into its embrace. Dreams flowed softly, carrying you on quiet rivers of light and shadow, through endless fields of stars and whispering woods. The forest watched over you, a guardian of rest and renewal, its ancient heart beating in tune with your own. With steady steps, you walked back toward the ancient trees that awaited like old friends. Their towering trunks stood solemn and welcoming, wrapped in shadows that grew longer with each passing moment. The canopy above began to thicken, softening the fading light until the forest became a hushed cathedral of twilight. You followed the familiar path, your footsteps muffled by a thick carpet of moss and fallen leaves. The forest seemed to breathe with you, exhaling a deep, peaceful sigh as night approached. The gentle rustling of leaves and distant calls of nocturnal creatures wove a soft melody that carried you deeper into the heart of this sanctuary. Ahead, the shimmering surface of the stream caught the last light of dusk. You paused beside the water, watching the gentle ripple as it traced its endless journey over smooth stones and fallen twigs. The sound was a soothing hum, a timeless song of flow and renewal that filled the quiet space between thoughts. You knelt and dipped your fingers into the cool water once more, letting its freshness wash over you. It was as if the stream carried away the day's last remnants of worry and fatigue, leaving only a pure sense of calm and clarity in its place. Behind you, fireflies began to emerge, tiny points of glowing light that flickered softly in the gathering dusk. They floated like stars fallen to earth, weaving delicate patterns through the darkening woods. Their gentle dance was a quiet celebration of the night's arrival, a luminous reminder of beauty found in stillness. You continued along the path, the forest's shadows deepening and the air cooling with the approach of night. The trees whispered softly, their voices carried on a breeze that rustled through the needles and leaves. Each sound was a caress, a lullaby sung by the earth itself to cradle you gently toward rest. Soon, you reached a small clearing where the trees formed a protective circle, their branches entwined overhead like the arms of old friends. Finding a soft patch of grass, you lay back and let your gaze drift upward to the clouds slowly floating across the brilliant blue. Their shapes shifted lazily, one moment a drifting sailboat, the next a gentle mountain peak. The movement was slow and hypnotic, each cloud a whisper carried on the wind. The gentle sway of the grasses, the soft caress of the breeze, and the endless dance of the clouds above lulled you into a deep sense of tranquility. Your breath slowed, your heart calmed, and your mind emptied of all but the present moment. In this perfect stillness, you felt yourself drifting, floating between wakefulness and dreams, carried gently on the currents of nature's quiet pulse. The meadow became a cradle of calm, rocking you softly with its timeless lullaby. As you surrendered to the serenity of this place, a sense of profound peace settled over you. Here, in the heart of the forest and beneath the open sky, you found a sanctuary where rest was not just a need, but a gift, a gentle unfolding into the embrace of nature's endless calm. And as the shadows lengthened and the sun began its slow descent, you remained there, held safe and cradled by the silent song of the earth and sky. As the sun dipped lower, the golden light softened into a warm amber glow that stretched across the meadow like a gentle blanket. The sky shifted from bright blue to soft pastels, lavender, rose, and pale peach, painting a serene canvas overhead. The clouds drifted slowly, their edges glowing faintly as the day quietly folded into evening. You rose slowly from the grass, feeling the earth's warmth seep into your skin and fill you with a calm strength. The cool breeze whispered through the meadow's wildflowers, carrying the sweet scent of late blossoms and the distant hint of wood smoke from a far-off hearth. The air held a quiet promise of rest, a gentle invitation to return to the shelter of the forest. And browns. As you walked, the scent of pine needles mingled with the faint sweetness of blooming jasmine and the crispness of fresh rain still lingering from the night before. The forest was fragrant, alive with nature's subtle perfume, a sensory invitation to relax, to breathe, to simply be present. The path meandered through towering trees whose branches arched overhead like a natural cathedral, filtering sunlight into soft, dappled patterns on the forest floor. You paused to watch a family of squirrels darting energetically among the branches, their tiny paws and fluffy tails moving with playful grace. Their quick, lively movements brought a smile to your face, a reminder of the joy hidden in the smallest moments. Further ahead, the sound of flowing water grew louder. You followed it, heart steady and mind calm, until you reached a crystal-clear stream sparkling in the sunlight. Smooth stones lined its edges, worn soft by years of gentle currents. You knelt beside the water, dipping your fingers in and feeling its cool rush wash over your skin, soothing and fresh. A dragonfly hovered nearby, its iridescent wings shimmering in the light. It moved with effortless grace, a tiny jewel of life amidst the lush greenery. You watched it for a moment, marveling at the delicate balance and beauty of this quiet world. Continuing along the stream, the forest gradually opened into a broad meadow bathed in sunlight. Tall grasses swayed gently, dotted with wildflowers that nodded softly in the warm breeze. The air here was lighter, filled with the distant buzz of bees and the cheerful chirping of meadowlarks. You stepped into the open, feeling the sun's warmth spread over your skin, a soothing contrast to the cool shade of the trees. The meadow stretched out before you like a vast, peaceful ocean of green and gold, inviting you to rest and dream beneath the endless sky. Each exhale releasing any lingering tension or worry. The world around you seemed to hold its breath, wrapped in a moment of perfect stillness. Time stretched and softened, becoming fluid and gentle. You felt connected to everything: the earth beneath you, the sky above, the trees whispering ancient secrets, and the soft pulse of life that flows through all living things. In this sacred space, your mind quieted and your heart opened. You were a part of the forest's timeless rhythm, a thread woven into the vast tapestry of life. The worries of the world faded away, replaced by a profound sense of calm and belonging. As the sun rose higher, casting warm rays through the branches, you felt a gentle warmth spread through your body, a glow that came not just from the light, but from the deep peace you had found within. You stayed there for a long time, resting, breathing, simply being. The forest cradled you like a gentle lullaby, its silence a song of comfort and rest. And as the day began anew outside the woods, here within this quiet sanctuary, you found a place where the soul could breathe freely and the heart could find true rest. The forest around you slowly awakened with the sun's gentle ascent, casting warm, golden beams that filtered softly through the dense canopy. The air was alive with the subtle rustle of leaves, the faint hum of insects beginning their day, and the melodic songs of birds weaving a harmonious greeting to the morning. Each sound blended seamlessly into the other, forming a tranquil symphony that seemed to breathe with the very pulse of the earth. You rose slowly, feeling the comforting support of the moss beneath you one last time before setting out to explore deeper paths. Each step you took was soft and deliberate, a mindful journey through the living tapestry of green and earth. The ground was cool beneath your feet, dotted with patches of wildflowers swaying gently in the morning breeze, delicate bursts of color among the rich greens. You followed the path that wound through the trees, now bathed in the gentle light of dawn, leading you deeper into the heart of this peaceful world. Along the way, you noticed the delicate dance of butterflies emerging from their chrysalis, their wings shimmering in hues of blue and gold as they fluttered softly among the wildflowers. The air was alive with life and possibility, each moment a gentle invitation to breathe, to feel, to be fully present. You paused beside the stream, watching as the water sparkled and flowed effortlessly over smooth stones, carrying with it the quiet stories of the forest. The coolness of the water called to you, and you knelt to dip your fingers into its refreshing embrace. The sensation was soothing, a pure connection to the living earth and its endless flow. Nearby, a family of deer emerged cautiously from the trees, their eyes wide and curious. They moved with graceful ease, stepping lightly through the soft grass. You watched in silent wonder as they grazed peacefully, the morning light catching the delicate sheen of their coats. Their presence was a gentle reminder of the harmony and balance that exists in this quiet sanctuary. As you continued your walk, the forest seemed to open up before you, revealing hidden clearings and secret groves. The air was filled with the sweet fragrance of blooming wildflowers, their colors vibrant and alive. Soft breezes carried the subtle melodies of bees and birds, a delicate symphony of nature's song. You found a quiet spot beneath a grand old oak, its branches sprawling wide like protective arms. The ground beneath was soft with moss and fallen leaves, a perfect place to rest. You settled down, leaning back against the sturdy trunk, feeling its steady strength support you. Closing your eyes, you allowed yourself to sink deeper into the peaceful embrace of the forest. Your breath slowed and softened, each inhale drawing in the fresh morning air. Your eyes closed once more as the rain whispered on the leaves above, a soft patter that cradled you deeper into rest. The earth beneath you hummed with quiet life, a gentle pulse of energy that flowed through roots and soil, connecting all things in a web of serene vitality. In this sacred moment, you surrendered fully to the embrace of the forest, the cool earth, the whispering trees, the rain's tender song. You felt yourself drifting, not falling, into a deep, gentle sleep where dreams float lightly, carried by the breeze through branches and stars. Here, between the trees, beneath the vast sky and the steady rhythm of rain, you are held safe. The silence is a promise, the darkness a gentle guardian. You are at peace. The rain began to soften, the gentle patter fading into a soft whisper, leaving behind a world washed clean and shimmering under the quiet glow of dawn. The forest, newly refreshed, exhaled a misty breath that curled lazily among the trunks and settled gently upon the ferns and moss. The air was crisp and alive with the fresh scent of earth and leaves, a perfume both ancient and new. As the first pale light of morning filtered through the canopy, it spilled softly into the clearing where you rested, casting delicate patterns of gold and green across the forest floor. The trees stood silent and watchful, their branches still dripping with the last remnants of rain, leaves glistening like jewels caught in a spider's web. You stirred gently, your breath mingling with the cool morning air. The soft sounds of the forest awakening reached your ears, a chorus of birdsong rising in joyful greeting, the rustle of small creatures moving through the underbrush, and the distant murmur of the stream winding its way through the woods. You rose slowly, feeling the weight of the night's rest settle comfortably into your limbs. Your feet touched the damp earth, cool and soft beneath your soles, grounding you in the present moment. Letting your body sink into the earth's gentle support. The coolness beneath you was comforting, a reminder of the deep connection between all living things. You closed your eyes, allowing the peaceful energy of the forest to wash over you. In the distance, the soft hoot of an owl echoed, a slow, thoughtful sound that seemed to speak directly to your soul. The forest answered in kind, a chorus of crickets chirped their steady rhythm, leaves rustled softly, and the night air whispered through the branches in a gentle caress. Your breath deepened, slow and steady, matching the tranquil heartbeat of the woods. The worries and noise of the day melted away, leaving only this perfect stillness. You felt your mind quiet, thoughts fading into the background like a gentle fog lifting at dawn. Time lost its usual meaning here. Seconds stretched and folded into minutes, minutes into hours. The boundaries between yourself and the forest blurred, until you felt not separate, but entirely part of this living, breathing sanctuary. You reached out and touched a nearby fern, its delicate fronds soft and cool beneath your fingertips. The texture was exquisite, a subtle reminder of the intricate beauty that thrives quietly beyond the rush of the world. As the night deepened further, a soft drizzle began, fine, gentle drops that kissed your skin and mingled with the scent of damp earth and leaves. The rain was light, a tender lullaby from the sky, and it mingled with the soft chorus of the forest to create a symphony of peace. You tilted your face upwards, welcoming the cool touch of the rain as it traced patterns on your skin. Each drop seemed to wash away the last threads of tension, refreshing your spirit like a gentle baptism. The clearing around you seemed to shimmer under the rain's soft embrace, leaves glistening with moisture, petals folding and unfolding in slow, graceful movements. The world felt anew, cleansed, calm, and wrapped in the soothing rhythm of nature's breath. The night deepened, and the forest's quiet embrace grew more profound. Above, the stars seemed to pulse softly, each one a tiny beacon in the vast, ink-black sky. Their gentle light filtered through the canopy, casting intricate shadows that danced slowly on the forest floor like whispers of forgotten stories. You rose slowly, feeling the earth's coolness beneath your feet, grounding you with every step. The path ahead was shrouded in a gentle mist, swirling lightly around the trunks of ancient trees as if the forest itself were breathing, exhaling a slow, misty sigh. The air was crisp and clean, carrying the faint, comforting scent of pine and damp earth mixed with the subtle sweetness of wild herbs. As you walked, the soft crunch of leaves beneath your boots was muffled by the thick blanket of moss and fallen needles, and the quiet rhythm of your footsteps blended seamlessly into the nocturnal symphony. Somewhere nearby, a stream gurgled softly, its water weaving a melodic thread through the forest's silence. The trees stood tall and silent, their branches swaying gently in the cool night breeze, leaves rustling like soft lullabies sung in a language only the heart understands. The world felt suspended between moments, timeless, infinite, and filled with gentle wonder. You followed the winding trail deeper into the woods, feeling a sense of calm curiosity guiding your way. Shadows stretched long and soft, wrapping around the trunks like velvet cloaks, and here and there, tiny lights flickered, the delicate glow of fireflies dancing in the darkness, weaving patterns of gold among the undergrowth. The path led you to a small clearing where the moonlight pooled like liquid silver, illuminating a circle of wildflowers that swayed gently in the breeze. Their petals, pale and luminous, seemed almost to glow in the quiet night, as if they held secret wisdom from the stars themselves. You settle down on a soft patch of moss at the edge of the clearing, a reminder of the quiet harmony that exists in this world when one simply listens. You continue onward, your breath slow and even, your heart steady and calm. The path begins to descend gently, leading you toward the sound of flowing water growing clearer with each step. Soon, you come upon a babbling brook, its water sparkling like liquid crystal under the moonlight. You crouch beside the brook, dipping your fingers into the cool, refreshing water. It flows endlessly, a timeless current that sings a song of renewal and peace. You cup your hands, bringing the water to your lips, tasting its purity. The cold touch is invigorating yet soothing, awakening your senses while calming your mind. Beside the brook, wildflowers nod softly in the night breeze, their petals closed against the cool air. Ferns unfurl their delicate fronds, each one a tiny masterpiece of nature's design. You lean back against the smooth stone, letting the gentle babble of the water and the night's quiet melody lull you deeper into a state of serene rest. The forest around you feels alive with a gentle energy, not one of noise or distraction, but of deep connection and timeless peace. It is a place where the soul can breathe freely, where the worries of the world melt away like morning mist. As you close your eyes once more, the sounds of the night become a soft lullaby. The rustle of leaves, the murmur of the brook, the distant hoot of an owl. Each sound is a thread in the fabric of this tranquil night, weaving you into the heart of the forest's embrace. Your body relaxes fully, sinking into the moss and earth as sleep begins to weave its gentle spell. You are cradled by the earth, held by the trees, and carried on the breath of the night. Here, in the silence between trees, you find a refuge, a place of stillness, peace, and endless rest. The air hums with life, yet remains profoundly peaceful, as if the forest itself breathes in harmony with your own steady heartbeat. At the edge of a small pond, you pause. The water is glassy and still, reflecting the stars above like a mirror to the heavens. A solitary frog croaks softly from beneath a lily pad, its voice a gentle ripple in the vast silence. You sit at the water's edge, watching as the moonlight dances on the surface, creating patterns that shift with each subtle breeze. The cool night air carries the scent of pine resin and damp earth, mingling with the faint sweetness of nearby wild raspberries. You close your eyes, letting the fragrances weave around you like a calming balm, grounding you deeper into this moment of stillness. Your thoughts drift like leaves on the water, light, effortless, and free. There is no need to hold on to any of them. They float by, carried gently downstream, leaving space for peace to settle in their place. The world feels vast yet intimate, a quiet embrace that holds you gently, as if you belong here, among the trees, the stars, and the whispering winds. Rising again, you follow the path as it curves gently through the forest, leading you beneath arches of ancient branches woven together like nature's cathedral. Shafts of moonlight illuminate patches of soft moss and clusters of delicate wildflowers, their petals shimmering faintly in the cool air. A soft rustling draws your attention. From behind a thicket, a family of deer steps cautiously into the clearing. Their eyes catch the moonlight, glowing with a serene intelligence. They move with graceful ease, their steps silent against the forest floor. You watch in quiet awe, feeling honored to witness such gentle life in this hidden sanctuary. The deer linger briefly, noses twitching as they sniff the air, before disappearing softly into the shadows. Their presence leaves a lingering sense of calm. The forest around you becomes a sanctuary of stillness and light, a place where worries fade and the soul can rest. As you sit there, cradled by the ancient trees, you feel yourself drifting deeper into a state of calm. The night wraps you in its gentle arms, and you surrender to the soothing rhythm of the forest, the soft whisper of leaves, the distant song of the stream, the steady heartbeat beneath the moss. Sleep comes not as a sudden fall but as a gentle unfolding, a slow, quiet descent into a world where silence speaks louder than words and dreams are carried on the breeze between the trees. And in that sacred space between waking and dreaming you find rest. The gentle rhythm of the night embraced you fully now, a soft symphony woven from the rustling leaves, the distant call of night birds, and the subtle murmur of the earth settling into its own quiet. The stars overhead blink slowly, their light flickering like tiny lanterns guiding your way deeper into the vastness of this serene world. Your senses, sharpened by the stillness, begin to notice the smallest details. The cool touch of a fallen leaf brushing against your hand, the faint scent of wildflowers blooming quietly in hidden patches, the delicate dance of fireflies weaving golden trails through the darkened underbrush. Each moment is alive with silent wonders, and you breathe them in, letting their gentle magic seep into your soul. As you rise once more, your feet find the soft earth with ease, every step cushioned by moss and fallen leaves. The path ahead is a winding ribbon through the ancient forest, bordered by ferns and shaded by towering pines whose needles whisper secrets with every breeze. You walk slowly, not guided by urgency but by curiosity, a quiet yearning to explore the depths of this tranquil sanctuary. Around you, the trees lean closer, their branches forming a protective canopy that filters the moonlight into a shimmering mosaic of silver and shadow. The clearing is bathed in moonlight, the shadows long and soft. The trees stand sentinel around you, their silhouettes etched against the starry sky. You feel their presence, not as watchers, but as companions in this quiet vigil. Your gaze drifts upward, following the slow dance of the stars as they twinkle in silent conversation. Each one is a tiny flame, a spark of ancient light traveling across the vastness of space to reach you here. You imagine the stories they might tell, of distant worlds, forgotten dreams, and the endless journey of time itself. The forest hums softly beneath the stars. Crickets sing their gentle chorus, and somewhere, a fox rustles through the underbrush. The sounds are delicate, woven into the tapestry of night, never intrusive but always present. They lull you into a state of calm awareness, where every breath feels like a soft caress and every heartbeat a gentle drum. You lean back against the sturdy trunk of a nearby oak, feeling its solid strength support you. The bark is rough against your skin, grounding you in this moment. You close your eyes, allowing the sensations of the night to wash over you, the coolness of the air, the faint rustle of leaves, the distant murmur of water. In the stillness, your mind begins to slow. Thoughts drift away like autumn leaves on a slow-moving river. There is no hurry here, no need to grasp or hold. Only the present moment, vast and open, stretches before you like the endless sky. You breathe in deeply, filling your lungs with the crisp night air, and exhale slowly, releasing any lingering tension. Your body relaxes further, melting into the embrace of the earth beneath you. You feel a profound sense of peace, a connection to something greater than yourself, a quiet bond between you and the living world around you. Time seems to dissolve. Minutes pass unnoticed, blending into one another like colors in a watercolor painting. You are adrift, not in water, but in silence, buoyant in the quiet, gently held in the space between trees and time. Sleep, when it came, was not an end. It was a slow unfolding, a soft descent. And in the depths of that silence, something whispered, not in sound, but in feeling, you are safe. You are home. The early night settled slowly over the forest, wrapping the world in a cloak of deepening shadows and quiet breaths. The canopy above shifted softly, stars peeking through as if shy to disturb the peaceful earth below. The moon, a pale guardian in the darkening sky, cast a silver sheen across the tops of the tallest trees, turning their leaves to shimmering whispers. The air was cool, carrying with it the faint scent of pine needles and the damp earth beneath, a scent so familiar it felt like a lullaby woven into the fabric of your very being. You awaken, but not fully. It is a waking between waking and sleep, where the edges of the world blur and colors soften into gentle pastels. The moss beneath you cradles your body like a warm bed, and the forest breathes softly around you. Somewhere nearby, an owl calls, its voice a deep, rolling murmur that seems to echo the heartbeat of the night itself. Your breath is steady, slow, a rhythm in harmony with the quiet pulse of the woods. Every exhale releases tension, every inhale invites calm. The space between your breaths widens, expanding into a gentle calm that settles deep inside. You feel weightless yet grounded, suspended in a moment that is both fleeting and eternal. Above, the branches sway lazily in the night breeze, their leaves murmuring secrets to each other. The wind is soft, not cold, a delicate whisper that brushes your skin and carries the distant sound of a stream weaving its way through the forest. The water's gentle gurgle is a soothing soundtrack, a melody of movement and stillness intertwined. You rise slowly to a seated position, the moss cool beneath your fingers as you push yourself upright. Fractured with drifting clouds and slivers of fading blue, a bird circled silently overhead. The last traces of sunlight filtered through the branches in a wash of amber and silver. It felt like the world itself was sighing. As the light continued to fade, so did your hold on wakefulness. Sleep did not come suddenly. It arrived like the evening mist, first a suggestion, then a veil, and finally a cocoon. The silence between trees grew denser, more complete, and within that silence, your thoughts untangled. You didn't resist. You didn't need to. The forest had taken over now, offering its hush as shelter. Your fingers brushed a patch of moss beside you, its softness unfamiliar and perfect. It reminded you of something, some dream or memory you couldn't name. You didn't chase it. You let it drift away, carried by the hush. Above, a breeze stirred the branches, and they answered with a gentle rustle, like lullabies spoken by leaves. Even the birds now sang in softer tones, occasional coos and warbles that melted into the quiet. Everything that could make noise had softened, even your thoughts. And as your breathing became deeper, slower, more even, the earth beneath seemed to draw you in, cradling you like a child, like a secret, like something beloved. The line between yourself and the forest blurred until it no longer existed. You were part of it now. Not just lying in the woods, but made of the same stillness, the same breath, the same memory of rain and root. You didn't need to move. There was no need for motion, no need for thought. Only this moment, suspended between branches, between stars, between dreams. The hush grew heavier, softer still, and you felt it settle over your shoulders like a blanket woven from mist. Your eyelids, already half closed, fluttered once, twice, and then rested fully shut, the world inside and the world outside melting into one seamless, drifting space. In this space, nothing pressed upon you. No voice called you back. The breeze muffled by thick foliage, even the birdsong quieting to a distant lullaby. It was here, in this sacred hollow, that the stillness deepened. You felt it around you, not as emptiness, but as fullness, the kind of silence that is alive with listening. You moved to the base of a great willow and leaned back against its wide trunk. Its bark was cool and damp, textured with age. It didn't speak in words, but in a language older than speech, a presence you could feel in your spine, as if the tree carried the memory of every season it had witnessed. You let your body relax into it, letting your back follow the gentle curve of the bark, letting your weight be held. The air smelled of damp earth and soft decay, of mushrooms tucked beneath roots, and the mineral scent of rain lingering in the crevices of stone. Somewhere close, water dripped slowly from a curled leaf. The sound echoed faintly, as though inside a dream. Above, the canopy swayed just enough to let the light dance, slow and golden, across your closed eyelids. Time in the clearing didn't behave the way it did elsewhere. Minutes unraveled like threads of silk. Hours dissolved entirely. You were aware of your breath, but not in the way you normally were. It was no longer something you controlled. It became part of the forest, rising, falling, mingling with the breeze, as if your chest had become the hill itself, exhaling mist into the trees. You could feel your heartbeat, slow and steady, syncing with the rhythm of dripping leaves and distant rustling. There was no rush here, no thought of returning, no edge between you and the world around you. The forest, quiet and constant, seemed to absorb even your thoughts, turning them into mist that floated upward, disappearing into sunlight. Then, as if guided by instinct, you lay down completely, your back resting against the cool moss, arms at your sides, palms open to the sky. The trees above framed the heavens like stained glass windows, just gently lowering into something kind and quiet, into the hush between leaves, into the softness between seconds. A single leaf flutters down from the canopy above, twirling slowly in the air, caught in a lazy spiral before resting on your chest. You leave it there. It belongs. Just like you. Time passes, or maybe it doesn't. Here, it's hard to tell. The sun moves slightly, the shadows shift, and yet nothing really changes. The peace stays. Your thoughts begin to drift. Not sharply, not urgently. They move like mist, slow and formless. You don't follow them. You don't resist them either. You let them go, like petals floating down a stream. Where they go doesn't matter. What remains is this stillness inside you, like the hush after snowfall, like the pause before dawn. Everything is soft now. The colors, the sounds, the edges of the world. You could sleep here, or dream, or simply be. There is no need to choose. And somewhere in this gentle blur between waking and sleep, between forest and sky, you begin to feel a presence, not of someone else, but of something eternal. The silence itself feels like a guardian, watching over you, holding space for your rest. You are protected. You are cherished. You are home. Beyond the narrow bend where the stream curled like silver thread through mossy roots, the forest opened slightly into a clearing so quiet, it seemed the wind itself tiptoed through it. The trees here were older, taller, willows and oaks with gnarled trunks and wide, leafy crowns. Their branches didn't just reach upward, they stretched outward like arms, sheltering the ground beneath with a deep hush of green shadow. You stepped softly into this place as if invited by the very breath of the woods, as if your presence had always been expected. The ground was blanketed with fern and velvet moss, dappled with the filtered light that sifted through the canopy above. Every movement was softened, your footsteps padded by layers of fallen leaves. Little windows to something wider and infinite. And for a long, long time, you do nothing. You just exist. You just breathe. And somehow, that is enough. As you rest there, you become aware of your heartbeat. Not because it races, but because it slows. You feel it pulsing gently in your chest, echoing in your fingertips, a quiet drumbeat to the world's hush. It matches the rhythm of a place untouched by time. The forest seems to lean in around you, like a story being told only to you. The trees do not speak with words, yet they communicate in a language far older. Their creaks, their rustles, their gentle sways all say the same thing. You are safe. You are welcome. You may rest here as long as you like. A gentle scent rises from the soil below, earthy, rich, full of life. It smells like history, like the breath of generations that once passed through this same trail. You imagine others sitting here long before you, letting the silence settle into their bones, just as you are now. And the thought makes you feel connected, as if the forest remembers them, too. The log beneath you feels warm now, soaked in sunlight. A bird chirps once, then again, and then falls quiet, as though even it knows not to disturb the stillness too much. You smile without realizing it. Everything here feels like a lullaby, one sung not in notes, but in textures, in scents, in breath. Your eyes grow heavier, not from exhaustion but from peace. The world outside this forest, the world of noise and tasks and clocks, feels far away, like a distant shore on a sea you've already crossed. Here, there is no past, no future. Only now. Only this moment. And that moment stretches, wide and soft, like the sky above the trees. You shift slightly, letting your body melt more fully into the moss. The warmth of the earth rises into your back, steady and comforting. Your limbs are light, like they're made of wind and sunlight. You feel yourself sinking, not falling, not losing. Or some kind of moss warmed by light. The breeze still moves, but slower now, more like a breath being held between two thoughts. You listen and hear nothing but peace. In the middle of the clearing is a fallen log, covered in velvet like moss. You sit, letting the soft cushion embrace you. You run your fingers through the thick green carpet, marveling at how cool it feels, how alive. It's almost like brushing your hand across the surface of time. Around you, life moves with exquisite quiet. A single butterfly hovers near your shoulder, wings flickering like pages of an unread book. It drifts away on the breeze, carried without resistance, without fear. You close your eyes and tilt your head upward. Warmth falls over your skin like a gentle blanket fresh from sunlight. And in that moment, you feel entirely still, still in body, still in mind, still in soul. Your breathing slows. Each inhale is deep and smooth, as though the trees themselves are sharing their rhythm with you. Each exhale is long and easy, taking with it whatever tension your body might have held. You are not merely in the forest. You are part of it now. Far above, clouds drift lazily through a blue so soft it almost looks brushed on. They move slowly, without concern, without need. The world watches, quiet and ancient, and you feel wrapped in something sacred. The silence here is not emptiness. It's fullness. It's the sound of nothing needing to happen. Somewhere nearby, a stream trickles through the underbrush. You can't see it, but the sound is enough. It whispers softly, winding between rocks and roots, always in motion, always gentle. You imagine its cool touch, the shimmer of light across its surface, the way it sings softly to itself as it travels. That sound is a lullaby for the earth. You lie back now on the mossy log, looking up through the leaves, watching them sway like slow dancers in the wind. Patches of sky flicker between the branches. The forest does not ask who you are or where you've been. It only offers its presence. And in return, you offer nothing, just your breath, and the gentle rhythm of your heart. In this stillness, you do not need to try. You are already enough. You do not need to move. You are already home. As your body begins to sink gently into the stone, and the stone into the earth, you drift. Not down, but inward. Not away, but toward a quiet place that has waited for you beneath the noise. The silence between trees. The morning sun had risen higher now, though its rays were still gentle, filtered through the leafy canopy above. Each beam touched the forest floor like the quiet tap of a fingertip on a still pond, golden and hesitant. Somewhere in the distance, a bird called, a low, flute-like whistle that spiraled into the air and then vanished, like breath on glass. You continue along the winding trail, and the world seems to move in time with you. The breeze walks beside you, brushing the sides of your face and stirring the loose sleeves of your shirt. Leaves rustle above, branches sigh, and the underbrush sways in unison. The forest, it seems, is not merely a place. It is alive. It watches you, not with eyes, but with memory. Each tree remembers windstorms. Each stone recalls the patter of rain. And they carry that memory quietly, never needing to speak. Your steps become slower, more deliberate. You are in no rush. The weight of time has loosened from your shoulders. There's no destination to reach, no end to this gentle journey. Every few moments you pause, not out of fatigue, but from reverence. Here, even stopping feels like a form of motion, a way to move deeper into the calm. You reach a wide clearing. The light is open here, unhindered by leaves, and it dances across the tall grasses like water made of sunshine. The air smells faintly sweet, wildflowers maybe. The kind of breath that only arrives when there is nothing left to chase. The stone supports you like a raft on a still lake. You are adrift now, not lost, but deeply found. A distant woodpecker begins its slow tap. Not hurried, not loud, just rhythm, spaced out in time, like the forest's own heartbeat. Tap, tap, pause, then again, and then nothing. Even the silences here have shape. The scent of the earth rises, wet roots, faded petals, soft bark warmed by light. The smell of a place that does not need to change to be beautiful. A place where stillness is not the absence of movement, but the presence of calm. Above you, clouds drift silently through treetop windows. They are not in a rush. They do not wish to be anywhere else. Their shape changes with such grace that you can't tell when one form becomes another. Like thoughts fading into dreams. One breath, then another. Time is forgotten. Here, in the space between thoughts and sleep, you are weightless. The trees watch over you, not as guardians, but as companions. They do not intrude. They do not interrupt. They are simply with you, as they have been with all who came before. You might hear a twig snap faintly in the distance. A fox? A deer? Perhaps only the forest stretching. It doesn't startle you. Nothing startles you here. Everything belongs. Your hands rest at your sides. Your breath settles even deeper. The edges of the world blur gently, as if watercolors are washing into one another. You do not fall asleep. Not yet. But sleep begins to rise around you, soft as mist. The breeze lifts a strand of your hair, sets it down again. The stone warms your back. The forest holds its breath. Or maybe it's just that you've finally learned to hear the quiet between the sounds. You are not outside the forest. You are part of it now. And it a part of you. The birds do not watch you. They simply accept. A squirrel scrambles across a distant trunk but pays you no mind. What remains is sensation. The way bark feels as your fingers graze it. The hush of your sleeve brushing a fern. The almost invisible hum that lives in the quiet, like the earth itself is dreaming beneath you. Soon you come to a clearing. Not a wide one, but gentle and round, as if the trees decided to give each other space here. At the center lies a large flat stone, warm and pale, worn smooth by centuries of wind and rain. Someone might have once called it a listening rock. Others may have sat here just like you, in years long before yours, listening to nothing in particular, and everything all at once. You lower yourself onto the stone. The forest accepts your presence without question. It has no demands, no clocks, no tasks. You are allowed to simply be. All around you, time becomes soft. Sunlight filters through the canopy like liquid gold, dancing in slow ripples across the moss. Somewhere high above, a breeze stirs the upper branches. They sway like slow dancers, arms reaching. The leaves shimmer, not with sound, but with light. Shadows shift gently, never abrupt, never harsh. The world here has no corners. You lie back now, letting your head rest gently against the curve of the stone. It holds a lingering warmth from the sun. The stone was always meant to cradle your shape, as if it's been waiting for this very moment. You feel the world beneath you, not just the surface, but the deep rhythm below. The pulse of the ground, the stillness of the roots, the ancient weight of slowness. A bird lands nearby. You don't see it, but you feel the small flutter, a tiny thrum in the air. It sings a note, then another, then silence again, as if it, too, is listening. You close your eyes, not to sleep just yet, but to feel more fully. Without sight, the forest becomes richer. You hear the insects clicking faintly in the underbrush, a drop of water falling from a leaf, the breeze weaving softly between the tree trunks, and your own breath, deep now, slow and easy. And as you surrendered fully to the night's gentle lullaby, you became one with the silence between trees, an eternal place of peace, where the soul can rest, the heart can heal, and the spirit can dream without end. Here, in this quiet sanctuary, you are safe. Here you are home.
Thank you.